Hello there, two deers. I guess you're in the right spot. This is the lesson on solving quadratic equations word problems, and we're dealing with numbers here, number problems. If you don't have a copy of this in front of you, you should probably pause the video, and there should be a PDF version of this that you can print off at home and then just fill in the note, and it'll be much easier for you. If not, you can pause the video and write as slowly or quickly as you like. You should definitely pause the 3-minute review, try it yourself, and then I'm going to take it up momentarily here. Okay, so hopefully you've tried this. Give expressions for a number. Well, usually we let it be something like x, but you might have wrote down n for number or something like that. And then the idea is we use our modeling skills to come up with other expressions. 5 less than triple a number. Well, triple a number, that's like 3x. And if we wanted 5 less than that, whatever number 3x is, 5 less than that is 3x minus 5. Right? Not the other way around. An even number, now we saw these problems earlier, and this will feel very familiar. An even number, remember, has to be divisible by 2. So an even number would be something like 2x. Because if you think of whatever x is, 2x is going to be even. Then an odd number would be right next to the even numbers, either one higher or one lower. So an odd number would be an expression like 2x minus 1, or 2x plus 1, or even 2x plus 3. All of these are odd numbers for whatever you choose for x, as long as x is an integer. 3 consecutive numbers. The word consecutive means in a row, right? So if we let x be the first number, then the very next number would be x plus 1. And the next number after that would be x plus 2. And it doesn't have to be 3 consecutive numbers. It could be, you could choose it to be x plus 7, x plus 8, and x plus 9. All those are in a row. You could choose x minus 1, x, and x plus 1. And all of these are 3 numbers in a row. As we'll see in our first and only example, we are looking for 3 consecutive odd numbers. So here we go. Word problems too. Solve problems involving quadratic equations. And you see this is there's the homework there. There's only one example. The sum of the squares of 3 consecutive odd numbers is 1091. What are the numbers? And probably you could mess around on your calculator and get the 3 numbers to work out pretty quickly. But the idea with these easier ones is to get our modeling skills up. This idea of if we choose x to represent something, then develop an equation, and then we'll get answers that always work. And in fact, we'll see if we were just to use our calculator, that we might miss one of the solutions. So I'm going to use the grass method for this. What was given is we have 3 consecutive odd numbers. So 3 consecutive odd numbers. The total is 1091. What's required is to find the numbers, right? And between these two things, this is kind of our planning stages, and then our A for analysis is the brainstorming part. We think 3 consecutive odd numbers. Well, let's get expressions for those, right? If we have our first odd number, second odd number, and third odd number, then we can see if we can make an equation. Remember, I can't just let this be x, because x could be even or odd. Remember, if it was 2x, that would be an even number, and if we want an odd number, we're going to pick one that's right next to it. That's an odd number. Then what's the next odd number? Well, you might say 2x, just 2x, right? Because the next number would be 2x. But if I want them all to be odd, then they need to be 2 apart. So I need to add 2 to this. Then the third odd number would be 2 more away. And at some point here, this is kind of like my setup, and then I'm going to get into my solution around here somewhere. I need to set up a statement. The sum of the squares of, they're the numbers. Well, what are the squares of the numbers? And this is where I get that it's going to be a parabola. Well, it's that number squared plus that number squared plus the third consecutive odd number squared is equal to 1091. Well, now this is a lot of work here, but I can expand. These are all squares, and hopefully you remember the pattern, right? I need to expand these brackets. Oops, that should be -4, shouldn't it? I goofed. Right? The pattern is that times 2 to get the middle term. And of course, if you have trouble remembering the pattern, you do this sort of thing, right? Where you multiply the 2 out, multiply everything by everything, and you'll end up with these patterns. Dandy. Let's keep going. Plus 4x plus 1 plus 4x squared, that times 2. 12x plus 9 equals 1091. Collect up the like terms. 12x squared. Like terms, like terms, like terms. 1, 1, and 9 is 11. And maybe even on the same step, because I know I got to get one side equal to 0, that I'm going to subtract that. Now I've got my equal to 0. And it's going to be, one of the F words to solve this factor or formula, right? And you're welcome to try the formula. I think the best plan, and we sort of talked about this, is to try and factor it first. Notice that if 12 divides into 1080, then I can divide this whole equation by 12 and make it simpler. And I'm going to do that because I just checked on my calculator, and that divided by 12 is 90. And now it goes from being a hard box method trinomial to an easy one. So, and then now I just need numbers that multiply to get 90, negative 90, and add to get 1, 10 and negative 9. Oops, x plus 10, x minus 9 equals 0. So I get x is either minus 10 or x equals 9. So what does that mean? That actually means there's two sets of numbers, right? These are supposed to be consecutive odd numbers. So my first one was 2x minus 1, but with x equals minus 10, I get that first number is minus 20 minus 1 is negative 21. Then the next odd number, the second one, would be 2 higher than that, negative 19. And the third, 2 higher than that. And I'll bet you that nobody who tried to solve this one on the calculator would have listed those three numbers. They wouldn't have thought of it being negative. So those ones work. Also, change color just so we know it's a different set of solutions. If I had x equals 9 here, 18 minus 1, 17, and then the second one is 2 higher than that, which is 19, 2 higher than that's 21. The positive and negative versions of the same number, and that makes sense since we were squaring them. So therefore, the numbers are, and this is the last statement, right? The numbers are negative 21, negative 19, and negative 17, or 17, 19, and 21. All right, that's it, folks. There's your homework, and it'll also be listed on the website from which you click to this video. And in class, that's what you'll be working on, along with maybe some review. That's it.